A very good morning to all the students. This is Veena teacher. We are there in the chapter Cell, the unit of life, and in the previous module we saw what is cell theory, size of the cells, shape of the cells, and we also saw the structure of a prokaryotic cell. Now in this module we are going to start with the structure of eukaryotic cell. So these are the diagrams which you are familiar with, that is the animal cell and plant cell. You studied about these diagrams in your lower classes also. You can refer to the same diagram. So here I have two diagrams, that is of plant cell and animal cell. Now let us go to the internal structure of the plant and animal cells. Let us start with the outermost structure that is present in the plant cell, that is cell wall. Now here you have a diagram. You can see a diagram which has the structure of a cell wall. Now here you can see that the word transverse section is mentioned and here longitudinal section is mentioned. Now let me just tell you what is transverse section and longitudinal section. Now here if at all you are having something, a structure like this, and you make a slice in the horizontal manner and see this from the upward direction, the middle part, this section is known as transverse section. This is also known as cross section. Whereas when you slice this from the top here like this in the middle, and then you view what is there throughout the length, that section is called longitudinal section, or you can also call it as vertical section. So here you can see the transverse section and longitudinal section of the cell wall, and these are the various structures which are present in the cell wall, that is primary wall, secondary wall and middle lamella. So these three are the essential structures which are present in the cell wall. Now this is very important. All of you please make a note of this. The cell wall of a plant cell is made up of cellulose, which all of you know. The cell wall of fungi is made up of chitin. The cell wall of bacteria is made up of peptidoglycan. And as all of you know, animal cells do not have any cell wall. So the cell wall has three layers: middle layer, primary wall and secondary wall, that you saw in the diagram also. Now here in this diagram you can see the three structures: primary, secondary and middle lamella. The middle lamella connects the primary walls of two adjacent cells. So here you can see only three cells, but when you take out the section of any plant, then you will see that there are hundreds and thousands of cells present, and each and every cell is connected with the adjacent cell. So how this connection takes place? Because from the adjacent cells, the middle lamella is connecting the primary wall of the cells which are adjacent to each other. Secondly, there is a cytoplasmic connection between one cell to other cell. This cytoplasmic connection is because of the presence of plasmodesmata. So plasmodesmata is a channel that connects the cytoplasm of one cell to other cell, so that the cytoplasm, it streams between the cells. Now here in this diagram there are two cells present, and what are the various kinds of connections that are present in between the cells that you can see in this picture. Now here junction means the place where two cells are meeting. The two important junctions are tight junctions and desmosomes. The tight junctions, these are made up of certain kinds of proteins, and there is no intracellular space between them. Means there is no gap, there is no space between these connections. So these kinds of junctions are called tight junctions. Whereas here you can see desmosomes. Desmosomes, there is a narrow space between one cell to other cell because of the presence of some kinds of a protein known as desmosomes. Now apart from that, there are certain microvilli present, and these microvilli, just like you know that your small intestine is made up of villi. So you have an idea what is villi. So here the microvilli are present throughout the cell, and these are the filaments that increase the absorptive surface. And some cells can have pellicle also. Pellicle means there is a covering, mucilaginous sticky covering that is present around the cell, and usually pellicle is present in the cells which are present in water. So if we have any water organism like any kind of a protozoan which is present inside the water, most likely it is covered with a pellicle. Now what are the functions of the cell wall? The plant cell wall provides definite shape, strength, rigidity. It also provides protection against mechanical stress, physical shocks. It helps to control cell expansion due to intake of water. Imbibition, it is connected to the point imbibition. It also helps in preventing water loss from the cell. It is responsible for transporting substances between and across the cell. And lastly, it acts as a barrier between the interior cellular components and external environment. Now let us see the structure of cell membrane. This beautiful structure of cell membrane, this structure is known as fluid mosaic model. Now let me just explain to you the structure. Here in this structure, you can see the yellow color ball-like structures. These are known as phospholipid head. Here you are having head and here you are having head. The head is connected with a long tail. Here you are having tail and other head's tail is here. This tail is made up of fatty acids. There are two kinds of proteins which are present. These are known as internal proteins. These are known as peripheral or external proteins. There is a chain of cholesterol present, and apart from that there are various chains which are coming outside the cell membrane. So these are the various components which are present in the cell membrane. So the model, fluid mosaic model, it is given by Singer and Nicholson. Please make a note of this name, very important name. Singer and Nicholson, they gave the fluid mosaic structure of the cell membrane. It contains three parts. The first part is known as phospholipids, second is the protein, and third is known as cholesterol. Now let us go back to the diagram. Okay. Now this phospholipid, it has the head and it has a long tail. Similarly, for other plasma phospholipid, this is the head and the long tail. So the heads are opposite and the tails are facing with each other. So here, why the structure is like this? This tail is hydrophobic by nature. Hydrophobic means it has repulsion towards water. It does not like water. Because of which the two tails are embedded inside, and this part and this part are the ones which come across water, or they are there in touch with the water. That's why the head, which is hydrophilic, means it loves water, is present on the opposite ends. Now apart from that, as I told you, there are a few proteins present. This is internal protein which is present inside to give rigidity to the structure. There are some peripheral proteins also present, and there are some channel proteins through which various substances move from one part of the cell, from inside the cell to outside the cell. Now apart from that, there is cholesterol present. This cholesterol is a steroid that helps in regulation of molecular entry and exit from the cell. You know that the cell membrane is semi-permeable or selectively permeable because of these structures which are present. Okay. Now here, so we saw about all these three parts. Now let us go to the fluid nature of the plasma membrane or cytoplasmic membrane or cell membrane. The fluid nature is because of 3 points. First is temperature, second is cholesterol, and third is fatty acid. Now here, when the temperature is very cold, then what happens is the proteins which are present, they are very close to each other, because of which there is lot of rigidity that is given to the cell membrane. And when the temperature is high, means the cell is under hot conditions, then what happens is these protein structures, they start to tend to move away from each other. Maybe that is the reason why when the cell is subjected to very high temperature, the cell dies, because whatever proteins are there, whatever the structures are there which are holding the cell together, these structures, they dissociate, leading to the complete destruction of the cell. Now here the cholesterol also stay in a fluid state. The cholesterol also helps the cell wall to stay in the fluid state and restrict the movement of the substances inside and outside the cells, and they help in maintaining the structural integrity of the plasma membrane. Now the fatty acids also help in giving the fluid nature to the plasma membrane, because these chains are tightly packed. All the chains that you're seeing, these chains are tightly packed. That also will help in regulation of substances across the cell membrane. Now let us study the functions of plasma membrane. Plasma membrane, it gives protection to the cell by acting as a barrier. It regulates the transport of substances in and out of the cell. It receives chemical messengers from other cells. It acts as a receptor. It helps in cell mobility, secretion, absorption of various substances. So all these are the various functions of cell membrane. Now children, let us summarize what we have seen in today's module. Today's module we saw structure and function of the cell wall and cell membrane. Remember, one question is very important here, that you already know the answer, the difference between cell wall and cell membrane. There are two answers for this. One is cell wall is freely permeable